Hello, Mark Red Larson here with my wife Cheryl Diane Larson. I'm coming to you from the Dreamcatcher podcast. Thanks for joining us. So today, um, change of plans, but that's how we roll, isn't it, Cheryl?
Oh yeah.
So,
Obviously, since I'm on,
it's cool.
I'm the
You haven't been out for a while, so we miss you. Yes, yes. So she's been making me cookies, so I really would miss that too.
Yeah.
So today on the Drinker Podcast, we're going to talk about gratitude. Because the other day I did one on how you see yourself as how the life you lead, your ability to catch your dreams. Today it's being grateful and gratitude. Um, so many people today aren't grateful for what they have, especially in the United States. There's so many people that, I mean, it's nice to have great things and everything, but I think so many people, although I think more people are coming around, that aren't grateful for what they have already. They want more stuff. I think that's why on Thanksgiving, where we're supposedly grateful and thankful for what we have, we go out on Black Friday and go get more stuff. And what Cheryl and I've learned is it's not about stuff. Isn't that right, Cheryl?
Yeah, reminds me of a gag that George Carlin, which I'm not an uber fan of his. He's a little rough around the edges for me, but he did have a point that you have a house that you're never in, and you work forever, and you go out and you fill the house with more stuff, and that's kind of the way we've been cleaning things out, moving things around, and
Yeah, it's all stuff. And I mean, we've gotten to the point where it is just stuff. And if there's somebody else that can get some use or be thankful and grateful for it, more that's a win-win. And so, yeah, some of the stuff is like if we haven't seen it for years or decades, sometimes it's just like we're not going to miss it. And it's more about relations and people in your life and being grateful for what you have. And yeah, I'm the first person to like nice clothing, nice cars, nice whatever, but it's stuff. And a lot of times when the newness wears off, which I think is another problem with people in the United States and probably other places in the world too, the newness wears off. So we want that high that
the dopamine.
yeah, dopamine, that's the word I was looking for, dopamine high, and it wears off, and then we need more stuff to keep that going, when really in reality you can get that from being grateful for what you have, with everything we have doing this with the mic and this computer and the technology. And actually, I'm very, very grateful for the weather we're having today. Actually, after the weather we had yesterday, we've been having a lot of cold and snow, and it's only we're going to have after the day. The next 5 days are going to be kind of similar, very cold. But after that, it looks like it's going to start acting like spring. And but it's beautiful today. I was just outside, and it's and it's all in relation, because in the summertime this would be a cold day, but when you've had really below zero temperatures, this feels really balmy, almost warm enough that I can put some shorts on. I love wearing shorts, as if you haven't figured that out.
You've got the legs for it.
But I'm grateful for I have the legs for it. So but no, it is. You need to be, and catching your dreams is good. But if you're not ever going to be satisfied, you're going to keep chasing and chasing and chasing, even when you get a dream. Kind of like when you get that big screen TV, you want the next whatever electronic thing. And let me tell you, I can understand it. I want not the TV thing. We will watch no TV. So, but if you're not going to be happy when you catch your dream, so how are you going to live that dream? Because if you're not satisfied there and grateful for it, you're going to always be going after that next dream and the next dream. And that's all your whole life's going to be, because you want to be thankful when you catch your dream. And when you aren't, when you aren't grateful or have gratitude, life kind of sucks. It does. And what Cheryl and I have been through the last year and a half or more, we're very grateful for everything we have. Um, we've been blessed, but we still aren't where we were before all this whole thing started. And but it is all his perspective. And there's a lot of people that are on the street, and I don't know how people coming up when it's going to be way below zero with the wind blowing and snow, how they do it. I mean, I'm thankful for the places that take people in like that, but we know people that don't. I mean, in Hastings, I see, which is the town that I'm usually at when I'm doing the Y and doing Blue Moon. There's so many people that are homeless there, which surprises me in a town that size. So I'm grateful.
There, it's everywhere. It's just hidden, and some places
Yeah.
it's more obvious than others.
But I'm very grateful for all the people in my life. They've made this whole thing that we've been going through so much better than it would have been.
We have been shown so much grace.
We have. I mean,
Truly.
it's been by the grace of God. But it is humbling to say the least too. And but we're still going, and yeah, we're still going, and that is worth a lot because we're both healthy. You had what 3 weeks ago when you went and had your CEA to make sure your cancer was staying away. That was good. I'm feeling really good. Even though I am 62, I feel like I'm 22. I don't feel any different at all. I have very, very few aches and pains, and that I'm grateful for.
Be grateful.
Because
I have arthritis. There's
so you have arthritis, and you have a lot of
bursitis
and stuff left over from your chemo too.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, but it did what it was supposed to do, and but yeah, gratitude. Your base life has to start with being grateful for what you have. And you can work up there. And when you get a new car, I think it makes you more appreciative of the new car. Our vehicles are really getting up there, but
he parks in the no car zone, way out in the back of the parking lot. So
well, not so much. Well, yeah, I do, and I have done it always. But but you know, even with the car that's almost got 200,000, my pickup's almost got 300,000 miles on it. We're very grateful. They've both been epic vehicles. They are. They don't owe us anything.
No, they don't. They don't.
No, the pickup has been it's a Ford Ranger, and the other one's a Subaru Legacy, which we're big fans of Subarus.
Yes.
This is our third one, and they've all been awesome cars. This one especially. This one's been through a lot, from hitting a coyote to a deer to somebody running into it to all the things that we do when we're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm learning French, so.
Yeah, and now it is. Yeah, the Subaru is lost. Its main panel is lost. Well, it's French. It talks in French, so it's
which is interesting.
It's expanding our
horizons.
Yes. Just when it yells French at me, it makes me almost have an accident. But or yells, period. It's comical. But the rest of the car, the rest of the stuff that needs to work works and has worked. And but we're grateful for that. Grateful for this house. This house actually was basically given to us. Grateful for that. My parents sold it this 5 acres here for very little. Grateful I have my dad's still here. My sister somewhere in the United States trucking. Had great holidays.
Yeah, and we have 2 friends that have been really going through the ringer with cancer. One's had the Whipple. And that's really a major surgery they take out.
Which I'd never heard of surgery.
Yeah, multiple organs and pancreatic cancer. And it's really unusual to know 2 people that have that. And the other person, she's just gone halfway mark and got really good news that her tumor's shrinking. And so then she's going to be able to have the surgery too. And when they do that, they say it's cured. So, and pancreatic cancer is...
Yeah, it's a tough
one that's really. I mean, they're all tough. I mean, I had 17% chance of surviving
with colon cancer.
With colon cancer, she's taking, and he had taken the same drugs, but they have a little bit extra in the cocktail. And again, it's been a few years since I went through treatment, so that was like the best news the last few weeks that he survived the surgery and she's doing all right. So,
yep. And good. So
it's a choice.
Yeah, it is a choice. It very much is a choice. You can see how
we could focus on the fact that they both been so ill and boo-hoo, and and it's not our issue. We're not the ones that are ill, but they're friends.
Yeah. No, you can. There's always something to be grateful for. Sometimes you have to dig a little deeper.
It's a choice.
But there's always something to be grateful for.
It's a choice, and I get really irritated with that Mary Kay Sunshine, kind of. La-di-da-di-da, que sera, blah, blah. Yeah, we all have days when we just want to...
We all do, yes.
But you feel that stuff and don't stuff it because it's just going to come out someplace where you really don't want it to. Deal with it and move on. And then make the choice to focus on the better parts because
Amen.
There's always going to be, to quote, is it Pixar? The poo-poo platter. where they came out for the flies and they had the poo-poo platter. There's always
Mhm.
poo-poo
That was a
platter
big star.
in everybody's life.
There is.
You know.
If you didn't have that, you wouldn't realize the other is good.
Well,
And
that's
yeah,
an
you
argument
would.
that everyone makes.
Just
And
like I
yes,
had a
it's true,
podcast
but
guest the other day, she said the bad stuff in the world makes you have a
appreciation of the
well,
good.
and a point where you know what is good. Because if everything was good, how would you know that's good? It gives
Perspective.
perspective. Yes,
Well, and it's like anything. Can you really truly think of anything that doesn't have two sides? At the
everything
minimum.
does.
At the minimum.
Yeah.
You know.
No, so yeah, to catch your dreams, you need to have gratitude, and if you don't work on that, just start practicing. That morning coffee. Really, really taste it, and just be thankful you have that coffee or your Starbucks, or when we get done, Cheryl and I are going to have coffee and homemade cookies she just made, which is actually out of this polenta. Is what you made the cookies out of,
Yeah.
which are very, very good. They surprised me how good
This
they are.
has been an experiment because if you're like everybody else in the United States, eggs are not something that you can find. I actually had a deal sent to me on my Facebook page, and there was an old commercial for diamonds years ago. He went to Jared, that meant that they bought diamonds.
Mhm.
This one says he went to Kroger and he got eggs,
Yeah.
and it's true. And so we've had all this stuff that, again, it's stuff, and we had bought just in case something happened. So we had some of this food supply stuff.
Yeah, we were preppers, so
Yeah.
I think everybody should have some.
And so we've had these horrible powdered eggs and polenta, and
The
those
polenta's
are
good. The eggs, yeah, I'd have to be really, really hungry to eat them as scrambled eggs.
A hint for anyone who has had powdered eggs, and they put a little bit of oil in with it. Even though you're going to have a little extra moisture, it makes a huge difference. But we've been making cookies out of prep foods, and it's been good. And I finally figured it out, so it doesn't taste vile. So
and we're grateful we have prep food. And if you anybody who else, because I know there's a lot of people out there who do prep food, which I think is always good to have a supply of food in case you can't get them at the
because we live out in the countryside.
We do.
And that's the reason why we had it.
Try them. Open one of the containers that you buy and make sure you're going to be able to eat them, because we had tried another company, which I think I'd have starved to death before I ate their food.
Well, you would become violently ill because it was full of preservatives.
Yeah, it was just bad food. Yeah. These ones we have now are really pretty awesome.
My tip for that is go to some of the people that do the homesteading, do the canning and all those types of things. Mm-hmm. For us, it's been a better choice as far as things. And it's not that we're, got a bunker and all that kind of stuff.
No, we don't.
We live outside in the countryside.
We're used to kind of being rough and anyway out in the middle of nowhere.
You have to, if you want to have food, it's best to have things that are shelf stable. We cook in the fireplace or whatever, or the barbecue.
Or if we have an ice storm and have no power for weeks, which you have not that many years ago.
That's why we have these things. It's not that we're thinking that Armageddon's going to happen.
As life happens, there's always something. Yeah. And what if you do go to the grocery store and there's nothing left? Then you have, at least for a while, you have food. So, but no, I'm very grateful. And this company that we have right now, I would definitely buy more of their products. They've been, in fact, I think I've talked about this before. They had what was it, blueberry, cranberry granola?
Oh yeah, you ate that stuff.
Was so they could have that on the regular shelf. I'd buy that all the time. That was really good. So, but no, they've had, they have hit and misses, but they were pretty overall not bad. So, but no, it has made it so we are able to keep on going. And, you never know when life's going to happen and how it's going to happen.
You just need that's, I think, the biggest skill in life is to learn to adjust.
Yes.
Adjust your, expectations sometimes. Not always. I mean, there are certain things that you should never adjust on, like if someone is
I agree. Oh, I know. Yes.
On you, or doing horrible things to you. No, you should not adjust to that. But if you didn't get that job, or you're not living in the best house in town, adjust and be happy. I don't care as long as I'm comfortable and my family can come and visit and they're comfortable and we can have friends over and we're safe. I don't care if I have the best house in town. It's too much work anyway. Too many toilets to clean. I'm sorry.
Well, she's cleaned houses for a lot of years. But this house was built in 1948. And we haven't done much updating, but it was built solid.
Yeah, it's like a town.
And it's nice to update, but we have carpet that's from the late 60s. Late 60s.
rugs.
Well, there's very few things that really, I mean, it's faded, but there's just a few places. But for that many decades, what are you going to get from today's stuff? Um, no, I'm very grateful we have what we have. This house is very good. I mean, it's been a tornado not too many years ago went south of here, and we missed it. Very grateful for that. Actually, we missed one this past summer. There was a tornado to the west of us. We missed that one, thankfully. We have not missed hailstorms, but this last hailstorm, the house really took it well, and it was the vehicles not so much, but it gives them character. And they both colors. The blue, Subaru's kind of a bluish, I don't know what you call that color, and the pickup's white, and they both hide hail dents very, very well. You really don't know that they are hail on, but grateful it really didn't break any windows out completely. See, there's so many things you can be grateful for. You just have to look.
Yeah, you just have to adjust.
I'm grateful for the people that I met all the way back. It kind of started in 2018 when I went to Life on Fire. I met so many people there that helped me have a coach and become a coach, if I wanted to. And those people we're still friends with. And then that kind of just, snowballed to what today is because I never had a coach before. And had many coaches since then. I mean, really, because some people have none. They've all been great. It shortens the learning curve, but I'm very grateful that I have the mindset that I would even consider that because some people, some people I don't think really even know there are coaches out there. They get coaches and sporting teams and stuff like that, but there's just about a coach for anything you want to do. Let me tell you. I hope that in the near future that I'm going to be coaching podcasting or teaching, whatever how you want to put it over in Hastings.
I think of the bookstores.
Yeah, I think Nicole, especially since she's brought up twice, and I would be honored.
Well, there's a lot of people you've helped.
Yep, all around the world. So, and that's one thing I love. I'm grateful for the podcasting. I'm grateful that Crystal brought that up because I had never thought about doing a podcast ever. And here I'm in the 4th year and about 275 episodes. And who would have thought? I mean, and then all the stuff that when I went to, because I met the person in San Diego, that I got to go to Las Vegas and be with another kind of group of people who I met so many people awesome there, and got to see Vegas because I thought I'd hate Vegas and I love Vegas. I don't gamble, but there's so many other things to do there, and it surprised me that I like Vegas at all. And then the travel, got us to traveling. So
I think we would have done that anyway.
Yeah, but I think we got more traveling done, and then the people we've met that we want to go see Jack over in Portugal, and
hi Jack.
Yeah, so there's so many people that we want to see around the world that have been on guests on the podcast, and so grateful. I mean, really, the people that have been guests on here have been awesome. I mean, they almost all become friends right away.
You've been extended numerous invitations
all around the world. Like I told Gina, the one that I just helped launch the book the other day, my goal, my dream is to go and do the podcast in person, wherever I'm at, from Portugal to Superior, Wisconsin, wherever it's at. And so there's a lot of things to be grateful. You can be down. If you really want to be down, you can definitely be down because there's always stuff to find that's not right. But
in situations, it could be so awful that it's a hole that it's hard to dig out of, and we're not saying don't feel those kinds of things because, like I say, it will come out someplace else. Either you'll become ill, or you'll take it out on somebody that had nothing to do with your feelings, and it'll just pop something and it'll come out, and sit with it and deal with it. And sometimes it takes more than once, and sometimes you think you have dealt with it. It's like we went to the workshop a few weeks ago.
The writing workshop. Yeah, it was fun.
They had us do some things, and so I wrote out some things, and it's been several years, but I didn't realize I was quite as angry as I still am about some of the things that when I was sick. And it wasn't that, I was sick and that, but I was angry that what it had done to other people. My father and my mother, were just beside themselves. All the things that Mark had to go through, with all the having to deal with all of the financial burdens. I mean, I tried to work, but when you're, getting treatments and you have a needle in your chest, you really can't do things.
No, you can't.
And
the financial burdens, whatever you're dealing with, we're still dealing with those, and that's probably something that never ends. Really, there's always something, your car dies or, something, there's always financial stuff that comes up. It's part of life. And it can be very overwhelming, but you just got to go through it.
And sometimes there's nothing you can do. And that's
Nope.
a hard one.
It is hard.
Because we both have been extremely self-sufficient. We're the ones that people always came to for the help. And we've been the one that has needed the help. And that's a real adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
It's very humbling.
It is humbling. But it gives you new perspective, too.
Yeah,
So, and perspective is always good. So, no, there is just, and practice gratitude. Practice it when you get up. Thank you. Because that is your first gift of the day is you got woken up. You're not done. Because when you're done, you're not here anymore. And be grateful for what you have.
Well, it doesn't even have to be that drastic.
It is your first gift of the day.
Who wants to spend their days miserable?
No, that's true.
And there are things that are going to make you miserable. But, because you had a flat and you're late to work, that's miserable. But it's not life-threatening. It's not something that can't be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
There are situations where there's things that can't be fixed, and that's a little bit different.
It is. Talk about having to practice gratitude because you have to take your smallest increments to be grateful for what you do have. And
I could be really pissy about the fact that I'm using powdered eggs in polenta, which has been sitting in our basement.
Oh, it has. Yeah.
But it's a learning experience.
Yes, and it was supposed to be good for 25 years, so it was, that, and the foil packets have done fine. So, but you have it. You should be grateful for it. You still have a house. You have the car.
Yeah. So we're indoors.
Yeah, heat. And can you imagine not having heat? Like I said earlier, we have the wherewithal to do this podcast from our office here, and I'm grateful for our office still after all these years. I think it's been 4 years coming up that we redid the office, and it's much better than it was. Grateful for Cindy when she kind of directed us on how to redo it. And the pale celery was an interesting color because it looks yellow in here, but it's got a greenish cast to it a little bit. So
depends on the light. Both colors will depend on the light.
But no, I'm grateful for the mom I had. She died a few years ago. My sister, my family, because some people don't have families.
Or if they do, they're miserable people.
And grateful for people who seem to resonate with what I say. And that's a gift right there. So, sometimes you get me talking, and I will let you listen to me. So definitely, anybody who knows me now knows that's the way it is. So, anything else, Cheryl, you want to share on this? But you do have to be grateful and have gratitude for what you have, or you probably won't get more. And if you do get more, you won't appreciate it. That's why.
Well, that shouldn't be your motivation anyway.
It shouldn't be, but I think a lot of people it is their motivation. And if you're going to capture your dreams, you have to be grateful when you get that dream, even if it's the smallest a part of your dream.
Well, and just to be brutally honest, there is absolutely nothing in life that's a straight line.
No.
Nothing. You pull out onto the interstate and it's a straight line, but you have to pull off, and that's not a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
That's the closest I think you're going to come.
Yeah.
And all of us are taught as kids, you do A, B, and C happen.
Huh. Wrong.
I guarantee you A, B, and Q happens.
Yeah. No, it can, but it's a really good day when it does happen that way. But like I said in previous podcasts, when you go through the trials and tribulation, it teaches you how to become the person that can get the podcast. Well, maybe that's your dream. Get the dream and keep it. Because if you stay where you're at and get the dream, more than likely, that's why so many people that get the lottery winnings or whatever, they don't know how to keep it because they never went through the process of keeping it. And that is such an important part. It's a tough part of it, but it does make you into a person that can keep it, and maybe appreciate it more. Because $100,000, whatever $1 million is handed to you, it's great, but you have to keep replenishing that because it's amazing in today's world how fast $1 million can go.
How fast $5 goes.
Well, very much. But, that is the trials and tribulations. And a few years ago, I said, but it is. It's something you have to go through to become the person that can capture and keep the dream. So on that, I'm going to end the podcast. But just
got cookies waiting. So
I do. I'm grateful for cookies. My cookies are good. So I do have a sweet tooth. Yes, and that is part of when why I need to keep going to the gym because yeah, that's why I need to go. And but on that, just be grateful for where you're at. Be grateful for the smallest thing you have because it is what makes life great. When you're grateful for what you have, then you more than likely will get more. So on that, thank you for joining Cheryl and I on this episode of the Dreamcatcher podcast. And until next time, take care.